good afternoon, and welcome to this special Island Stat Sports Talk. I'm your host, Earl Baston, and joining me is the Bermuda Football Association President, Mr. Mark Wade. And we are talking about a decision that was made by FIFA on Thursday. It was actually, Thursday, that a groundbreaking regulation is passed by the FIFA Council, and it requires every team participating in a FIFA-organized women's tournament to appoint at least one woman to either their head coach or assistant coach position. The move is designed to dismantle long-standing barriers and ensure that a rapid global growth of women's football is matched by increased leadership opportunities for women on the sidelines. Mr. Wade, obviously, with FIFA making this announcement and ruling, everything comes into play September. How does this position Bermuda football internationally for the women? Because it's a busy period. It's going to be a busy period over the next couple of months.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it will. It throws some of our developing women's coaches immediately into the limelight. But for us here in Bermuda, we've always attempted to have women staff on our women's teams, whether it be assistant coaches or team managers or equipment managers. Certainly our physios are always women who travel with the women. So this takes it a step further, and is asking for assistant coaches to be women or head coaches. So takes it a bit further in terms of leadership roles on staff. So we're definitely supportive of it, of the move. It's always been a goal of ours here at the BFA to have women coaching women. And I know our women's committee has always advocated for that, and works diligently to try and get more and more women on our coaching courses and get them qualified, and certainly always look to actually have a women's only coaching course. The demands has always been kind of short, but this is alliance with the girls of the Bermuda Football Association, certainly. So it has thrust our developing coaches in the limelight, and I hope they are ready.
We often hear the requirements for the males, because obviously we talk more about male coaches and what is needed to coach at the academy level and into the national setup. How far are we away from some of these female coaches in getting those licenses to be able to meet the standard of what the association has set for national coaches?
There are developing coaches are stepping through the coaching pathways. We have, to be honest, and this is something that we're very proud of. Nikita Robinson was actually the first B licensed coach in our region, in the Caribbean region, 300 years ago. I'm sorry, Nikita, I'm dating you a little bit, but it's been quite some time since she, received that accolade and met that standard. And for a minute there, she was the only senior women's head coach. But our developing coaches are, like I said, stepping through the pathways. We have one who has a B license now, and we have a couple more who are on that pathway. We actually had one, she isn't active anymore, that was actually pursuing her A license. So they're there. We just have to put some more heat behind them to make sure that they achieve the necessary level of license so that they can perform at the national level.
Understanding that obviously FIFA is looking to raise the percentage of females on the sideline, because we have a lot of people who play the game, just like in the men's side. We have a lot of people that play the game when they're finished, they're finished. You have a few that
Mhm.
want to stay on and coach, but coach at the youth level. Don't want to coach at the senior level because of the challenges of when you're starting out as coaching and so forth. But how do we ensure that we get the balance right, that we get some of these females at the youth level to make sure that that at the grassroots level they're getting the proper coaching and then into that national academy?
Well, I think what it means is that we now have to step up our efforts in terms of mentoring these coaches and cajoling them and also just showing them what the benefits are and giving them the confidence to step up to coaching on the international stage.
Yeah. When you look at the rule will officially debut at the FIFA Under 20 Women's World Cup. Do you think it's a disadvantage for some of these countries in that? Because if they don't have, I mean, we're going to be unique because we're such a small country, but these other countries are probably massive coaches and so forth. But not having some females already in the team, in the group, um, do you think it's enough time for them?
Um, I'm going to put it this way. I think it forces them to look at their female coaches. Um, if I'm frank, there are some countries who are not as progressive
Hmm.
as other countries, and they'll be forced to. And I think that that's going to be one of the positive benefits from this particular ruling. It will force countries to now look at women's coaches and start to really develop them in earnest.
Mm. Now, this mandate applies to all youth and senior tournaments, obviously national team competitions, and even club competitions, including the 2027 Women's World Cup in Brazil. But for our side, I know that CONCACAF aligned themselves with FIFA in changing the
Mhm.
age groups starting next year. How many teams would we need, or how many people would we need to fulfill that role of either coach or assistant coach come September?
Mhm. Um, I'm not gonna speak out of turn. I'm gonna let Maurice know.
He's
uh,
busy, man. He's busy trying to figure out Congo, man.
I'm gonna let Maurice know deal with that when he returns. That squarely in his wheelhouse. In terms of our number, I know that we have some some coaches working within our national academy now.
Mhm.
Um, and I know that he will be looking very closely at them and looking to advance their coaching certifications. In the short term, of course, they can be the assistant coach. We just need to get them at the higher levels of certification, namely a B license.
Right. Additionally, the bench requirements is also something that has to be looked at, especially for us, because beyond the coaching role, teams must ensure to at least have one member of their medical staff as a female and at least two officials seated on the bench have to be women. I know you guys, you just mentioned you usually have a female that goes with the team as a physio. Uh,
Mhm.
we we look at medical staff and so forth, and obviously we need somebody else. So the numbers in this are clearly growing to get more females involved in quote unquote administration or that type of role. Do you see that becoming an issue in Bermuda?
No, I don't see it as an issue at all. I think we already have our medical staff are women. When we travel, we engage doctors for our teams that are women. Our
Mhm.
physios that travel with our women's team are women. Um, so I don't see that as an issue for us. I think we've already got our finger on the pulse where that's concerned.
Yeah, we noticed even this time around, we've played a lot of football from men's seniors right down to women under 15s,
Mhm.
all in the last what, 3 months?
Yeah, first quarter of the year.
Yeah, yeah. Now we have people that come from the outside to help, like you've indicated. Does this put a strain on the association and the people that they work, the group of people that they work with to fulfill some of these rules?
Yes, no, that is going to be where the challenge arises, right? We're a volunteer um, organization by and large, and most of our, if not all of our staff, coaching staff, team staff, all have other full-time jobs. So that will be where the challenge arises. So the challenge now, this will add another little layer to it. Um, in terms of being able people being able to get the necessary time off from their 9 to 5 job, so to speak. So that like I foresee that being a challenge. And I think we'll be able to meet that if and when we start to recruit um, more and more women, especially within our coaching staff. So whether it be coaches or um, team managers, etc.,
Right.
equipment managers. Right now, our cadre of team managers and equipment managers are about 50-50 in terms of the split between men and women.
Hmm. Hmm. When you look at the fact that FIFA and CONCACAF lay out a couple of years schedule, so you know when tournaments are coming about, how helpful is that you can plan in advance and have people see what is on the horizon and make their plans accordingly? How helpful is
Yeah,
that?
yeah, no, that's very helpful. The target for us is to be able to appoint the staff um, very early. So our we look in sort of like September to make sure that we have all the necessary staff in place for the two under 17 tournaments, for example.
Hmm.
Uh, and even beyond that, we look to have staff appointed for August, as early as January. Um, it is very helpful to know the dates as early as possible so that we can transfer that and get the necessary documentation sent in to employers, etc., etc. So it has been helpful, um, and we'll continue to try and be ahead of the game when that comes around.
Mm. You mentioned something earlier that this decision kind of forces some countries to make the change. How much of a standoff do you think that will be for some countries? And has FIFA said what the penalty is if some countries don't meet the requirement?
So I haven't seen where there's penalties. So that that's I'm sure that will come eventually. I'm not sure if they're going to take a hard line or not, but time will tell. There may be fines, or maybe they'll sort of graduate this um, over maybe a year, maybe I don't know. That part I haven't seen in the regulation,
Hmm.
but teams. I think teams should be prepared for it.
Right, right. Uh, how do you think it would be accepted around the CONCACAF region? Because pretty much we have some countries small like us that will have to start like right now to get women involved because they don't have a lot of women involved. Even in the
Mm.
women's teams, they got all male coaches and male teams. You know what I mean? Orchestrating what goes on in their
Yeah.
female teams.
Um, and I say this respectfully, there'll be some quiet grumbling. And they'll have to do their best to meet the requirement, just like us. We will have to do our best to meet the requirement. I'm going to say that we're a bit ahead of the game,
Mhm.
um, and we just need to stay ahead.
Okay. Well, let me congratulate you as for your new position as you serve as the Caribbean Football Union's chairman of referees. Um,
Thank you.
what does this job entail?
Well, I mean, you know, at the highest level, we're looking to increase the amount of referees we have on the FIFA list. We're looking to get more and more referees in FIFA finals. That's the goal, right? We're looking to keep the standard of refereeing high, and get it even higher. The challenge that we have in the Caribbean region is the standard of our leagues, and we have about four, I think four or five professional leagues in the Caribbean. So we need to maybe leverage those leagues to try and get our referees refereeing at a higher level. So in sort of developing countries where they have some potential referees, we need to try and get those in the professional leagues. And we'll probably, and I know we will, leverage relationships with the wider CONCACAF to get Caribbean referees in professional leagues.
Mm.
And even beyond that, I think some of the countries need to leverage their relationship with their, for lack of a better word, mother country. So the Dutch-speaking islands should need to leverage the relationship with Holland to get their referees in professional leagues refereeing. Maybe they take some time to travel into Holland and live in Holland and referee there. Similarly with us here in Bermuda, we need to get our referees refereeing in the UK. There's any number of levels to choose from. This doesn't have to be the Premier Division,
Right.
but that's an avenue that we need to explore and exploit. Similarly for Dutch-speaking and Spanish-speaking countries in the Caribbean.
And you see firsthand how challenging it is for the local head of referees here in Bermuda, Cranston Williams, the challenges he has of making sure that our league continues to run with officials, bringing them in from overseas and so forth. So how from your position, how can you assist the region in seeing what domestically Mr. Williams goes through? Because I'm pretty sure most of the other countries have the same challenge.
Yes, absolutely. And as I've said to Mr. Williams, that while I sit in the chair as the chairman or referee in the Caribbean region, is largely down to his work. So I will be sharing his work with our southern neighbors, and looking to see how they can replicate his work to improve referees and increase the pool of referees in the Caribbean.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna wish you well. How long is this post for? Is it the term of the 4 years, or is it year by year?
It's 4 years, I think. Yes, in the 4-year cycle.
Okay, all
It's
right.
similar to CONCACAF and FIFA positions.
Right. You got your hands full in that.
Sure.
But I tell you what, you would be ahead of the game because you have someone like Cranston who's been working very, very hard over
Yep.
a number of years to increase the awareness of refereeing, in Bermuda. And now that you're one short of a full team of internationals, I guess this can help. This can help. We might be able to get that fourth and fifth and maybe sixth if things work out.
Well, we've got some very promising youngsters in Bermuda, and we're just waiting for them to come of age. It's similar similar to a club waiting for a player to turn 16.
Yeah,
Uh,
yes.
yeah, we're in the same space with three or four of our most promising referees. We're waiting for them to reach the right age.
Yeah. But back to why we're here. What would be your appeal to females to get involved, because the door is now open for various positions at the national level?
Hey, the appeal is, listen, here are more opportunities for women. There are opportunities that exist already, but now here's more opportunity for women to get involved in coaching here in Bermuda and beyond. So, familiarize yourselves with our coaching courses and get started. Within 3 years, you could be a B licensed coach and coaching at the national level.
Okay. All right. Well, we have a busy weekend coming up, a very important weekend coming up.
Yes, we do.
Yes, you will make your presence known at PHC tomorrow for the 12:30 kickoff, as it's a presentation at the end of that match.
Yes, sir.
And then obviously all eyes are on other matches throughout the day and into the night. As we line up the Premier Division.
As we wind down the season, we're we've got a couple interesting results, and things could shape up differently. So we'll see how it goes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for joining, and we keep an eye on this decision by FIFA and see how the association is managing as we get closer to the actual start date, which is September. Okay.
Sure. Thank you for having me.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
All right. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye.